guys, it's Tina, also known as Little T. And as you can see behind me, what time of year it is, 2 weeks from today will be Christmas. And I thought it'd be good to start making some Christmas cookies this weekend so I can have some stored away, and that way at Christmas time I can spend more time with family and friends. So the cookie recipe that I'm using comes from this cookbook that I was given back in 1982 for my birthday by Brian's sister. And I was turning 19 that year, and that also happens to be the year that Brian and I got married. So coming up on the 19th of this month, we will have been married for 39 years. So that's pretty exciting. I think you're going to enjoy this recipe because it's super easy to make, just takes a few simple ingredients, and they're just perfect for the holidays. So let's get to cooking. As you can see from the recipe here, it just calls for butter. We're going to use plant-based butter, a half a cup of sifted confectioner's sugar, or powdered sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and it calls for 3/4 cup of finely chopped nuts. Since we have a person in our family with a nut allergy, I'm going to substitute that with some vegan chocolate chips. So, first thing I'm going to do is soften up the butter. The recipe calls for half a cup of powdered sugar, so I'm just going to mix these up real quick. Okay, that looks nice and creamy, and I'm going to preheat my oven to 400 degrees. Next, we need to mix in the 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, give that a good stir. Then we have 2 1/4 cups of flour, which I've already pre-measured. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then we're going to stir. And it's going to seem like at first that the flour is just not going to mix in, but eventually it does. It just takes a little bit of stirring and some patience. Once the texture gets to where you can squeeze it into a ball and it doesn't fall apart, then you know it's done. You can also do this in a stand mixer instead of a regular sized bowl by hand if you want to do it that way. Last thing we need to add are the chocolate chips. And these are quite small chocolate chips. You can use minis. These are just some unsweetened pure chocolate I bought as a treat to myself, and I've had them for quite a long time. I wanted to use them up slow because they were quite expensive, so we're going to mix those in. On a regular recipe I would make for a gift, I would use chopped nuts. Usually we chose to use pecans and sometimes walnuts, but you could choose whatever nut you like, just so long as it's chopped pretty fine. And now we're going to form them into balls, about 1-inch balls, and we're going to place them on our cookie sheet. And the cookies don't spread, so you can place them close together on your cookie sheet. And try to make them as uniform as you can so they all bake about the same amount of time. You could weigh them on a scale if you want to be precise, which is what I do when I make them at work, but for family and friends, it doesn't have to be quite that precise. Cookie sheet is full, so that came out to 25 cookies. And we'll get those in the oven. Our oven is preheated to 400. And then we'll just slide them in here. We'll bake them on the middle rack. Set our timer for 12 minutes. Cookies just came out of the oven, and while they're still warm, the recipe says to sprinkle some powdered sugar on top of them. So I'm going to use my little sifter here, and then we're just going to tap it on the side and sprinkle all the cookies. You can see they all look like little dusty snowballs now. Then we'll let them cool and take them off the cookie sheet and roll them in some more sugar. And that's the time you could choose to roll them in some colored sugar, maybe red or green for Christmas, and then it would just shine through the powdered sugar. So they're just going to cool for a few minutes here. So the last step we're going to do is take the cookies and we're going to put them in some more powdered sugar, which I'm just going to use my little sifter here and put some powdered sugar in this bowl. And then we'll just take the cookies, which already have powdered sugar on the top, but there's none on the bottom, and we're just going to roll it in some more powdered sugar. You see it will coat it really nicely, top and bottom, and they'll put it on a pretty plate. And again, you could put red or green sprinkles into this powdered sugar, or you could roll it in the powdered sugar first and then sprinkle the colored sugar on top, or have a separate bowl with just the colored sugar and roll it in that after you roll it in the powdered sugar. Cookies are still a little bit warm, which is nice because it helps the sugar stick to the cookie even more. And the chocolate chips are just barely showing through, and just like in chocolate chip cookies, they will have melted when they cooked and then just reformed as a cool chocolate chip. You see I got some on my finger there. And when your sugar runs low, you just add more to your bowl as needed. Get your hands a little bit messy, as you can see. And then here we have a nice plate of cookies to serve at Christmas time, take to a party, or just have when you're having fun with your guests and family. Thanks for watching, guys. That didn't take very long to make a batch of cookies that would be great for the holidays, to take to a party or serve when your family comes to visit for the holidays. I think this pin that my sister got me last year, Baking Spirits Bright, probably helped the baking process go even better. So let's give the cookies a taste test now. There you have it. A nice Russian tea cake, or Mexican wedding cakes as they're called. We just kind of call them Christmas cookies. It's very buttery, not too sweet. It does make a mess on your face. And watch out if you're wearing fancy clothes, because you're bound to get some powdered sugar on them. So I hope you try this recipe and make it for your family or your friends. I'm sure they'll enjoy it just as much as our family does. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas.